Hey everyone, it's me again. I'm going to give a more in-depth explanation of what happened over the last few days, where I was, and some of the experiences I had. So, on Friday, I had a really close call with my mental health. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that, but you can probably make your own assumptions of what almost happened. And I decided to voluntarily check myself into Glens Falls Hospital for a psych evaluation. And I ended up staying in the BHU, the Behavioral Health Unit, for I believe it was 5 days. I was in crisis isolation for 1 day, and I spent 4 in the BHU. And I'm doing a lot better than I was on that day. I have the tools I need now to recover in a more safe way and how to manage my emotions in a more safe way. That being said, I am still, everyone deals with their own shit. Let me say it that way. And it does get better. There are resources for you. Let's move on to the experiences, I guess. So, upon arriving at Glens Falls Hospital, I checked in the ER, got moved to crisis isolation, where I was told that I would talk to a physician. I spent 13 hours in crisis isolation, did not talk to a physician until Monday. And that was a bit problematic for me. Personally, I struggle with isolation. I have separation anxiety. I struggle with attachment issues. And so not being able to be, not just with the people that I care about, but I was in my own room, just a TV and a bed, and no one really to talk to except for the nurses that would come in every few hours and talk to me about stuff and bring me food and stuff. On Friday night, after the 13 hours, I was moved into the behavioral health unit, I shouldn't call it the psych ward, but I'm going to call it the psych ward, or a mental institution that Glens Falls Hospital has. I was moved in there at about 10:30 on Friday night, and immediately arrived to a massive meltdown happening, the room right next to me. It was a really unenjoyable experience. I was very intimidated. Just hearing that was very stressful for me, but I got through it. I was talking to nurses, I didn't really talk to any of the other people that were staying there that day, but Saturday I was able to come out of my room a little bit. I mostly stayed by myself, and I was told on Saturday too that I would see someone later in the day, which I did not. And so we move on to Sunday, when I actually start coming out of my shell, start making friends, and honestly, the friends that I made there, the people that I was able to talk to that were going through the same shit that I was dealing with, no matter how they got to that point, that was the most beneficial part for me. And I think that honestly is helpful for a lot of people. And so the fact that they do let you socialize, they don't just keep you in your room and monitor you, they actually let you talk, and they have groups that you can go to. That's a really helpful resource for people like me who struggle with not being around people. I do consider myself an extroverted person. I do get scared when talking to people, and I don't like asking for stuff, as some of you know, but it was very helpful just to have that resource. And unfortunately, I also was told on Sunday that I would see a physician, which I did not. I did not see a caseworker until Monday, who started planning my discharge, which of course occurred today. And yesterday, which was Monday, was honestly the greatest day I had there. I really was able to come out of my shell. So it does show that just resting in a place where you do feel safe, where someone is keeping you safe, keeping you from doing any harm to yourself or others, is absolutely critical for the healing process. Any of the other people that were there that were considered dangerous, they were dealt with and were able to be calmed down by the staff there. So I do have to give a massive shout out to the nurses working in the BHU. They do an absolutely incredible job. I know someone's gonna ask about the food. The food was ass. I think everybody knows that hospital food is ass. That's not really a surprising thing, but it was edible. I was able to eat my meals every day, all 3 of them. So I at least was finding the food consumable by some degree. But overall, it was a mixed bag of emotions for sure. A lot of stress, a lot of just being intimidated by starting that healing process. If you are in a similar boat, I honestly do recommend, even if you don't go to something like the BHU, but just reaching out and just talking to a person, a trusted adult in your life, even if it's a family member, one of your friends, if they're willing to listen, which they should be, absolutely take advantage of that. Not in the way that it will hurt them, but just use that. Just talk to people. It is the most helpful thing. It's just when you feel like someone really understands what you're going through, I can't even really put into words how much that actually mattered to me. So I guess that's what I have. That's my story. That's where I've been for the last few days, and I'm really happy to be out. I'm really happy to be able to talk to my friends again, talk to people that are really, really, really close to me, including my parents, which not being able to give, my mom came and visited me, and not being able to give her a hug was that was torture. It really was. So I'm really happy to be out, and I'm happy to still be here. I'm happy to see what comes next for me. I'm happy to, I really do realize that people care now, and I really feel loved. So thank you to my friends, to my family, and I know they're not going to see this, but the nurses and the doctors at Glens Falls Hospital for keeping me safe and making sure that I did reach a point where I felt like I was able to be out in the world again. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me them. You're not going to offend me by asking a question about it. I'm actually more than happy to talk about it. And yeah, just take every day one step at a time. And I love you guys. Thanks for being here.